Let's start with a two-lane road with no median. Cars on either side must stop and remain stopped while the bus is stopped. Roads with 2 lanes and a center turn lane, same rule. Drivers can't get going until the school bus does. On 4-lane roads separated by a double yellow line, you guessed it, all drivers in all directions must stop until the bus begins moving or puts down its stop sign. Now to the one exception. If there are 4 lanes or more divided by a physical median, the drivers on the opposite side of the median from the bus do not have to stop. Everyone behind the bus is required by law to stop.
All right, hope people remember all those rules because I completely forgot. That was a refresher for me. So basically, no matter what, just to be safe, just stop.
There you go.